Okay. There you go. Okay, here we go. Well, I don't feel like doing uh deltarune tonight, so instead here's EU4 with clearly customized Rome installed. And simply what we're gonna do is I'm going to pull up what the how do I oh, there it is. I'm gonna pull that up, go to observe, and then so we're not gonna play as Rome. What I did was I put Rome in the game, and we're just gonna let the AI do its thing, and just let the game run automatically. I do love how this is called Roman Pontic Steppe, considering that's what it was. It was the last vestige of Pontus, even though Pontus originally started down here as a breakaway kingdom from Alexander the Great, and eventually, shortly before Rome booted its butt up to here, did eventually conquer this area. But this is where Pontus was in its last bit of territory before Rome came in and took it. I actually just got done learning about the wars between Rome and Pontus. At least the ones that put Pontus into that predicament where they only had that left. Uh, but so what's going to be the deal here is we're going to let the time run until 1836. Then we're going to transfer it over to Vicky 3 and let that run. And then go to Hearts of Iron 4 and let that run. Now, I'm sure some people would probably argue, why not just do a mega campaign from Rome Imperator to Hearts of Iron? The problem with that is, and I've done this a couple times, is Rome to CK3 works fine, and everything will work as it's supposed to. CK3 to EU4 will work fine, as it's supposed to. But then when you take that to Vicky 3, because there's a lot of nations that don't exist, that the game doesn't now. Because there's a lot of nations that don't exist anymore. Well, not that it doesn't, because there's a lot of nations that do exist that the game doesn't know what to do with. What you end up with likely is a game where nothing happens because no country has a push or focus or anything to actually do anything. So they just never declare war, they never go after each other, they just sit and do nothing. And that carries into Hearts of Iron 4 too. Just games where nothing happens. Like, legit nothing. Absolutely nothing happens. So, EU4 to Vicky 3 works, and then from that to Hearts of Iron works because you have nations that are supposed to exist that do exist. So, they will be the things that will keep the games moving. That, and it's also not trying to register data from several games ago, and that's kind of the problem as well, is because you're transferring game to game to game. The problem ends up becoming that, well, I guess I'll have things moving while I'm talking. So what ends up happening is it's very likely. What the heck? Why? What the heck? Why? Roman Western Europe. What the heck? Why is Rome breaking up? Why is my Rome breaking up? Are you a puppet? or something? What the heck? Why is my Rome deteriorating? What is this? What? Why? Rome, what the heck is happening? There we go. What is this? Truce. What? Why? What? Huh? Why did that happen? Oh, okay, they're vassals. I don't know how long that'll last for, but they're vassals. Okay. Yeah, England didn't break away because England still exists because they have the Isle of Man and part of Ireland. Yeah, so so likely why it doesn't work up to Vicky 3 is because once you get to Vicky 3, there's elements that push the nations to do things. And because you're transferring data from game to game to game, it's very likely that that data transfer can't keep up. So eventually, because there's some data for each transfer that gets dropped because it's no longer useful to that version to the game you are putting it in. So in some instances, this works fine, but in other instances, it doesn't. So going from Rome Imperator all the way up to Hearts of Iron 4, that might be fun and good to play with, because you can just have one mass expanse empire that just constantly builds between every single game. So what you're doing doesn't concern what game it is and if it breaks the rest of the AI. But in this instance, it will. So from EU4, nations that get created or already exist, Vicky 3 will pick up and know what to do with. Likely. There's probably also stuff where it just flat out won't know what to do with. But that's another problem for another day. Like, for example, what I ended up having was there were like whole empires that took up like this entire region, and it was marked as like empty territory that could be colonized and grabbed by its neighbors. And it was like an empire that was like doing really well and really conquering in this game. But then when it went to Vicky 3, it was like, nope, it can't do anything anymore. So it was a mess. So this should hopefully be a little bit more interesting. As it should be a little bit cleaner, possibly. I can't believe Aragon. Oh, they're at war. With who? Oh. Little nobodies down here. Well, they're dead. Oh, God. Yeah, they're dead. They're very dead. They are dead. I don't like how the symbols don't appear on the flags. I wish it did. Yeah, I also have a mod that uses modern flags for nations, because I don't really like this is just monarchy France. But like I don't like the flags that the game normally has. So for Scotland, we have the Scottish flag instead of, what is it, like a lion or something? I forget. I think I can't remember. I can't remember if Denmark was changed from the mod, or if that's just how Denmark is. I know when it comes to Russia, it's not the normal Russian flag, and that's the same for Poland and Lithuania. It's like I just like the modern flags better, so that's what we're gonna use. How are they taking land? It won't matter. It won't matter soon enough anyway. They're gonna die. I didn't intend to talk for so long because I wanted to just mute and let the game run. and I would occasionally just move the map around. So, the idea before Rome busted apart was it was just going to be a massive Roman Empire that was going to slowly build its borders more and then colonize America. It could still do that, but this just makes it a bit more awkward. Also, the boundaries that I did was the boundaries Rome had at 200 at the year 200, which is roughly at their border height. I wouldn't say I wouldn't I would argue whether or not it was the height of the empire, but it was definitely like a point where they had some of the most land that they ever had at that point. So that's what I guess because it's such a massive expanse of land, they just don't want to take care of that. Oh, they just released it for really no reason. What? I guess that might be it. They just don't want to have to take care of it, so it's like, fine, you can have it back. I do like how it kept the southern Greece, and it kept Constantinople. I do appreciate that. Who now? Who now? Okay. Oh, is it a culture thing? No, because there's Bulgarians and Greeks here. They're probably very happy. Them probably not so much. Who wanna... Oh, it's these guys. You. Okay. Yeah, so some nations still live because not their whole territory was owned by Rome at the time. Meanwhile, Europe is very broken. France is... Oh, God, France. That is a mess. Oh, Rome, Orleans. Rome and France. Rome and Britain. Oh, looks like England's probably gonna die. To... Oh, that's just rebels. It doesn't matter. Germany's not looking good. Oh, this is a great idea. I love this. What are they looking at? Oh, that's a little bit of a bigger force, but that is even bigger than it was before. And none of them are actual allies. They're just... What the heck was it? No. What are you? Yeah, they're just vassals. They're not allies. They're just vassals. No. How is trade? Oh, looking pretty good, I think. Or not. I don't know. I don't actually know how to play any of these games. I just like doing this because it's more fun. Then I'm actually going to turn the mic off. And we're just going to watch the map go.